Welcome to Gold Medal Business, the place to be if you're a children's activity and sport entrepreneur who is serious about growing and scaling your business to six-figure success and beyond. We talk growing your team, growing your students and your venues, and so much more. I'm Katie Cannon, former 5 times British gymnastics champion turned 7-figure entrepreneur. Are you ready to get started? Let's grow your business. Today, I'm going to double down on doubling your productivity. And it starts with 8 steps because it all starts with knowing what to focus on. The biggest thing that I hear time and time again when I'm mentoring my clients is for you to grow, you might hit a boundary at 200,000. You might hit 1.5 million. You might hit one at 800,000. It's knowing how to increase your capacity, your productivity, and your focus in your business. Because for you to grow, you need to make sure, first and foremost, you're actually focused on the right areas of your business. Otherwise, you're literally just like throwing paint at the wall and expecting something to stick. So, number 1, I want you to have a look, and I'm going to make this episode for you really short and snappy. And I want you to have your notebook at the ready because I want you to take down these key 8 steps to doubling your productivity. Number 1, I want you to look at how much time left you have in your schedule. So I want you to look at your whole week. I want you to put all your commitments, family, exercise, spiritual, your work, if you're still working a day job, putting that in, put everything into your schedule. And then I want you to look at what time is actually left over for you to work your business. It will look different for everybody. If you're full-time in your business, you might have 9 to 5. You might have 9 to 2. If you're part-time and you're working a full-time job, it may look like 3 hours in the evening. So this is going to look different for everybody. So number 1, how much time have you got left? Number 2, I want you to look at reorganizing your schedule into theme days. I adore this. I did this first about 3 or 4 years ago, if not a bit more, and it transformed the way I work. Because when you're you can't multitask as much as we all think we're amazing and we can. The results are in that you can't. Years of research, we all think we can do that, but you cannot focus on more than one thing at once. It also applies exactly the same if you're switching things all around. So you might be like, you know, I'm going to focus for an hour on this and then half an hour on this. But that is just as bad. You want to try to get as much as you possibly can, have those theme days. Theme days is basically grouping things together. So when I have a content day, it is a content day. I'm not doing lives. I'm not doing calls. I'm not doing any coaching. It is a planning day. I turn off my phone. I'm sitting focused, writing content and planning and doing videos and all that good stuff. That's a content day. You might have a finance day. You might have a day at the end of the month. I love these. I have a day at the end of the month and a day of each quarter. Well, I bolt together so many things that might be like takes me half an hour there or an hour there. But I pull them together in a monthly task and I block out my whole day to focus on all those mediocre little menial tasks that sometimes they need to be done, but you don't want them spread out. One of them is, you know, cash flow, KPIs. You might be checking them on a day-to-day basis, which I hope you are, but doing a grand, like a bigger picture, a big review. What can you cut? What can you move? What can you accentuate? And so forth. Okay. So number 1 is how much time you've got left. Number 2 is theme. So when you start going into those themes, you'll start having, so I have a coaching day. Thursday is my coaching and my live day. All of it happens on a Thursday. So that is a theme in itself. So you can start, you may, if you're still coaching classes, maybe, do you know, this is my teaching day. So look at your week, look at your schedule and start bulking stuff together into groups of what you can pull together as a theme day. Number 3, I want you to start as you're working, and I encourage you to do this from next week and use a full week as research for yourself. You're going to go through your whole week, and as you're doing an action in your business, notice I call it an action, not a to-do list. We don't just have to-dos. The idea is that you're getting results from your actions. I'm not wanting you just to have to-dos that you feel like you've got to the daily grind. I've just got to get through these to-dos, because that to-do list, as we all know, woohoo, it gets longer and longer and longer. And it never seems to come to an end, these to-dos. So really looking at what is actually on your list, on your action list. And I want you to have a list by the side of it that says don't do list. Now, this is anything that as you're doing it and as you're going through the motions, I want you to put onto the to-do list, onto the two that I got my words mixed up, onto the don't do list, anything that comes up that you think, I shouldn't be doing this, or this isn't my zone of genius, or I'm not very good at this. Why on earth am I doing it? So that is your don't do list, because that should get longer and longer, because as you transition into more of the leadership in your brand and you, the CEO, that needs to get longer so that you can dial in your focus to only do what only you can do in your business. All right. So number 4, every quarter, I want you to do a review of time. So a review, like a time audit. Look at, and we're coming to the end of another quarter here. Quarter 2 is nearly finished. So I encourage you at the end of June to look at where have you spent your time? Where have you spent your energy, your focus, and do a bit of an audit, because when you're aware of it, you can change it. When you're not aware of where your time is going, it's really hard to change it. So 1 is how much time have we got left? Have you got left in your schedule? 2 is theme days. 3 is have a don't do list. 4 is a quarter review time audit. Number 5 is focusing on the one thing that only you can do to drive your business forwards. What is the one thing that you know you can delegate so much out, but what's the one thing that you know that if you put a lot of time and focus in, that is going to get you the results? Because very often, and I've seen so many clients of mine schedules, when we're looking into their business, we're looking at their schedules, and I'm like, that's why we're not where we are, because we've got the wrong energy in the wrong area. Because as entrepreneurs, everything's important. We've got so many ideas, and the focus is completely diluted. But when you focus on that one thing that's actually going to drive that result, everything else doesn't matter. So laser focus is 100% needed. Number 6, have that list. So you've got that list of don't do list. Then you're going to have that list of what are you not doing anymore. So you've got the don't do list. These are very, very similar, but the don't do list is more so in terms of like, I'm not doing anymore. This is something that definitely got to be delegated. Your list of not doing is exactly how it sounds, of what should I be doing that I'm not doing, that if I put more on my don't do list, I've got more time to do it. Okay. It's like a tongue twister, that. So having, as you're going through your day to day, thinking, what should I be doing? Should I really be focused in this area? Should I really be more over this direction? So making sure you've got number 6 is a list of not doing. Number 7 is, this is my favorite one of all time, your CEO strategic time. Without doubt, this is my favorite day of the week. I adore coaching my clients, but without this day, I can't support my clients in the best way. A CEO strategic day is said a day as it sounds for you, the CEO. You're not in meetings. You're not in calls. That day is if you sitting in your office. That's you sitting maybe somewhere else that you find inspirational, maybe a nice restaurant, maybe a nice coffee shop, maybe sitting outside and doing a strategic day of where you're thinking, because the more thinking you can do in your business, the more strategic you can be. This is vital as you're starting to scale your brand. So start having a look. You might not start with a day. You might start with a morning. Absolutely fine. Just start having a CEO thinking strategic day. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you've enjoyed and you've really got some great benefits, please share with someone you know or someone in the children's activity space to really support them in their growth as a children's activity entrepreneur. Please hit subscribe so we can hit more people and get more great value to them. Thank you so much for being part of our community. It's an honor each week to train and nurture you, and I cannot wait to hear all of your great business successes.